Chapter 36. There are several good protections against temptation, but the surest is cowardice. Pudd'nhead Wilson's New Calendar. Names are not always what they seem. The common Welsh name, Beelzebub, is pronounced Jackson. Pudd'nhead Wilson's New Calendar. Friday, December 13. Sailed at 3 p.m. in the Mararoa. Summer seas and a good ship. Life has nothing better. Monday, 3 days of paradise, warm and sunny and smooth. The sea a luminous Mediterranean blue. One lolls in the long chair all day under deck awnings and reads and smokes in measureless content. One does not read prose at such time, but poetry. I have been reading the poems of Mrs. Julia A. Moore again, and I find in them the same grace and melody that attracted me when they were first published 20 years ago, and have held me in happy bonds ever since. The Sentimental Song Book has long been out of print and has been forgotten by the world in general, but not by me. I carry it with me always, it and Goldsmith's deathless story. Indeed, it has the same deep charm for me that the Vicar of Wakefield has, and I find in it the same subtle touch, the touch that makes an intentionally humorous episode pathetic, and an intentionally pathetic one funny. In her time, Mrs. Moore was called the Sweet Singer of Michigan, and was best known by that name. I have read her book through twice today, with the purpose of determining which of her pieces has most merit, and I am persuaded that for wide grasp and sustained power, William Upson may claim first place. William Upson, heir, the Major's only son. Come all good people far and near, oh come and see what you can hear. It's of a young man true and brave that is now sleeping in his grave. Now William Upson was his name, if it's not that, it's all the same. He did enlist in a cruel strife, and it caused him to lose his life. He was Perry Upson's eldest son. His father loved his noble son. This son was 19 years of age when first in the rebellion he engaged. His father said that he might go, but his dear mother, she said no. Oh, stay at home, dear Billy, she said, but she could not turn his head. He went to Nashville, in Tennessee. There his kind friends he could not see. He died among strangers so far away they did not know where his body lay. He was taken sick and lived 4 weeks, and oh, how his parents weep. But now they must in sorrow mourn, for Billy is gone to his heavenly home. Oh, if his mother could have seen her son, for she loved him, her darling son. If she could hear his dying prayer, it would ease her heart till she met him there. How it would relieve his mother's heart to see her son from this world depart, and hear his noble words of love, as he left this world for that above. Now it will relieve his mother's heart, for her son is laid in our graveyard. For now she knows that his grave is near, she will not shed so many tears. Although she knows not that it was her son, for his coffin could not be opened, it might be someone in his place, for she could not see his noble face. December 17. Reached Sydney. December 19. In the train, fellow of 30 with 4 valises. A slim creature with teeth which made his mouth look like a neglected churchyard. He had solidified hair, solidified with pomatum. It was all one shell. He smoked the most extraordinary cigarettes, made of some kind of manure, apparently. These and his hair made him smell like the very nation. He had a low-cut vest on, which exposed a deal of frayed and broken and unclean shirt front, showy studs of imitation gold. They had made black discs on the linen, oversized sleeve buttons of imitation gold, the copper base showing through, ponderous watch chain of imitation gold. I judged that he couldn't tell the time by it, for he asked Smythe what time it was once. He wore a coat which had been gay when it was young, 5 o'clock tea trousers of a light tint and marvelously soiled, yellow mustache with a dashing upward whirl at the ends, foxy shoes, imitation patent leather. He was a novelty, an imitation dude. He would have been a real one if he could have afforded it, but he was satisfied with himself. You could see it in his expression and in all his attitudes and movements. He was living in a dude dreamland where all his squalid shams were genuine, and himself a sincerity. It disarmed criticism, it mollified spite, to see him so enjoy his imitation languors and arts and airs, and his studied daintiness of gesture and misbegotten refinements. It was plain to me that he was imagining himself the Prince of Wales, and was doing everything the way he thought the prince would do it. For bringing his 4 valises aboard and stowing them in the nettings, he gave his porter 4 cents, and lightly apologized for the smallness of the gratuity, just with the condescendingest little royal air in the world. He stretched himself out on the front seat and rested his pomatum cake on the middle arm and stuck his feet out the window and began to pose as the prince and work his dreams and languors for exhibition. And he would indolently watch the blue films curling from his cigarette and inhale the stench and look so grateful, and would flip the ash away with the daintiest gesture, unintentionally displaying his brass ring in the most intentional way. Why, it was as good as being in Marlborough House itself to see him do it so like. There was other scenery in the trip, that of the Hawkesbury River and the National Park region, fine, extraordinarily fine, with spacious views of stream and lake imposingly framed in woody hills, and every now and then the noblest groupings of mountains and the most enchanting rearrangements of the water effects. Further along, green flats, thinly covered with gum forests, with here and there the huts and cabins of small farmers engaged in raising children. Still further along, arid stretches, lifeless and melancholy. Then Newcastle, a rushing town, capital of the rich coal regions. Approaching Scone, wide farming and grazing levels, with pretty frequent glimpses of a troublesome plant, a particularly devilish little prickly pear, daily damned in the orisons of the agriculturalist, imported by a lady of sentiment and contributed gratis to the colony. Blazing hot all day. December 20. Back to Sydney, blazing hot again. From the newspaper and from the map I've made a collection of curious names of Australasian towns, with the idea of making a poem out of them. Tumataki, Murwillumbah, Bowral, Ballarat, Mullumbimby, Murrurundi, Wagga Wagga, Wyalong, Murrumbidgee, Gomeroi, Walloway, Wangari, Wanilla, Warro, Kopio, Yankalilla, Yiranyaka, Yakamarundi, Kaiwaka, Kumuru, Tauranga, Geelong, Tongariro, Kakarura, Wakatapu, Oapara, Wapinga, Golwa, Mangalpara, Mankita, Maipunga, Kapunda, Coringa, Pinola, Mangwari, Kongarong, Komonum, Kulawurti, Kilanula, Narakote, Mulawarti, Binam, Wallaroo, Wiraga, Mandura, Haraki, Rangairi, Tiwamut, Taranaki, Tuwamba, Gandawindi, Geraldari, Wangara, Wollongong, Wollawollam, Bombola, Coolgardie, Bendigo, Kunanambal, Kudamundura, Woolgulga, Mittagong, Jamberoo, Kanda, Paringa, Kutpu, Kankilo, Ukarparinga, Talunga, Yatala, Parawira, Morororo, Wangari, Wollondunga, Ballaroo, Pernati, Paramata, Tarum, Marandira, Tenanilquan, Kawakawa. Maybe best to build a poem now and make the weather help. A sweltering day in Australia. To be read, soft and low, with the lights turned down. The bombola faints in the hot balrol tree, where fierce Mullingudgeries smothering fires, far from the breezes of Coolgardie, burn ghastly and blue as the day expires. And Murray Wollumba complaineth in song for the garlanded bowers of Wooloo, and the Ballarat fly and the lone Woolagong. They dream of the gardens of Jamberoo. The wallaby sighs for the Murrumbidgee, for the velvety sod of the Moonooparra, where the waters of healing from Muluwurti flow dim in the gloaming by Yaranyaka. The copious sorrows for lost Wallaway, and sigheth in secret for Murrumbidgee. The Wangaroo wombat lamenteth the day that made him an exile from Geraldari. The Tiwamut tumult from Warriga's glade, the Ningata swallow, the Wallaroo swan. They long for the peace of the Timaroo shade and thy balmy soft airs, O sweet Mittagong. The Coringa buffalo pants in the sun, the Kondo Paringa lies gapping for breath, the Kongarong Kamoon to the slumber has won, but the Gomeroo sinks in the slumber of death. In the weltering hell of the Mororo plain, Yatala Wangari withers and dies, and the Warrawanilla, demented with pain, to the Woolgulga woodlands despairingly flies. Sweet Mangary's desolate, the Mamble wails, and the Kunkilo Kito in sables is dressed, for the Wangari winds fall asleep in the sails, and the Uluru life breeze is dead in the west. My Pongo, Kabunta, O slumber no more, and Kalila Parawira, be warned, there's death in the air. Villanubla, wherefore shall the prayer of Pinola be scorned? Kutabundra, Kaki, and Wakatipu, Tuwamba, Kakura are lost. From Anka Paringa to far Oamaru, all burn in this hell's holocaust. Paramata and Binum are gone to their rest in the vale of Tapini Tarum. Kawakawa Dinaquin, all that was best in the earth are but graves and a tomb. Narandira mourns, Cameroon answers not, when the roll of the scatheless we cry, Angariro, Gondawindi, Bulundunga, the spot is mute and forlorn where ye lie. Those are good words for poetry, among the best I've ever seen. There are 81 in the list. I did not need them all, but I have knocked down 66 of them, which is a good bag. It seems to me, for a person not in the business, perhaps a poet laureate could do better, but a poet laureate gets wages, and that is different. When I write poetry, I do not get any wages. Often I lose money by it. The best word in that list, and the most musical and gurgly, is Woolloomooloo. It is a place near Sydney, and is a favorite pleasure resort. It has 8 O's in it.